going on, Merc fam? In today's review, we're going to be going over a brand new series on Netflix called Fear Street. This is the first of 3 installments, and I can't wait to crack this open with you guys. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that everybody likes, subscribes, and go ahead, tap that notification bell one time for your boy. I just want to make sure that everything I post, you are aware of. Now, without further ado, let's jump into this Fear Street review. Alright everyone, I'm gonna be nothing but completely honest with you guys. I have not heard about this. I didn't see any trailers for this. I literally logged on and saw it was number 3 on Netflix, which raised my suspicion into thinking, should I watch this or should I not? I thought to myself, it is the beginning of July. There's no way that there's gonna be some horror show that's gonna top something that could come out in October. But boy, was I wrong. Not only did I misinterpret the title and think that it was some cool new thing, unbeknownst to me, this is not just some brand new series coming out that no one has never heard of. This is a series from R.L. Stine, and if that name sounds familiar, it absolutely should. He has wrote things like Goosebumps, along with Fear Street and many other titles. And the first one in this trilogy takes place in 1994. I know all of my 90s babies were really excited. I was thinking this was going to be some sort of slasher show. There's another one on Netflix that I've seen where I was thinking it was going to be something similar to that, where it's a group of people and we have to figure out which one of them is the murderer. This is the absolute opposite. Now, I'm going to put out a full disclaimer warning at this time. If you have not seen this movie, I highly advise that you do, and then rejoin me back and you can catch this video. And right before we do our deep dive into Fear Street, I want to make sure that everybody likes and subscribes. It really helps the channel and my algorithm to be seen more, and that is the goal. Like I said, I was expecting this to be a 2-part movie, okay? I didn't think it was gonna be a trilogy. Nothing about this led me to believe that this was gonna be something different, something crazy. I didn't see R.L. Stine's name, I swear to you, until I was doing the research on the show. I'm sure that a lot of you were like me, and in the first 10 minutes of this movie, I was expecting it to be some sort of slasher Halloween type movie, but it absolutely took a different turn. The premise of this movie revolves around a small town, and in this small town, over centuries and over many years of its existence, there are a lot of murders that happen. A lot of weird, tragic, and gory murders at that too, right? It's not some light shit. It's something that really queases out the town folk, and they rarely talk about it. A lot of the members in the city speculate that there was some witch in the 1600s who was killed for being a witch, and now she's reaping her havoc on the generations that follow. Once I knew that there was a witch or some sort of curse involved, it really brought me into this movie a little bit more, because I came in thinking that it was just going to be a slasher film, and I had to pay attention and deduce who the murderer was going to be. All the characters in this movie play a very important part, from the main girl to her brother to the lover and the friend. You got to really pay attention to everybody. Essentially, this group of teenagers have to band together and fight against this curse and save their friend. In the movie, there's one character who explains everything, right? He is the know-it-all. Just like in every horror movie, there's one guy who almost knows horror movies and is able to explain things to everyone in a way where it's like he's explaining it to the audience. And with his knowledge, they all go on this escapade, similar to a Scooby-Doo in the gang type of vibe. That's what I was thinking when I watched this movie. Being that all of the teenagers are committed in stopping this curse, they go about the entire film really breaking down what is possible and what is not possible. I really love the Scooby in the gang vibe that they all put out. And when people started dying, I was like, damn, that is definitely someone I did not think was gonna die, but I enjoyed it, all right? I'm coming off of a lot of movies where none of the heroes are in any danger, like Fast and the Furious, right? They're going on these crazy, crazy escapades and nobody has a scratch on them at no point in any of the violence, right? But this movie absolutely puts you in that seat. I don't know about you guys, but I love being invested in a character in a horror movie and they actually die, because you would think that they're gonna keep someone, right? When you watch a horror movie, you have your speculations, you're like, okay, he's the virgin, she's the smart girl, and he's the jock. I think the jock is gonna die first. So you kind of have these assumptions when you watch scary movies, but I love when they flip it out and you don't know what's gonna happen and they do the whole opposite of what you were expecting. Overall, I felt this R.L. Stine movie was shot extremely well. It gave you a Goosebumps vibe, but it put in that teenage danger that I remember reading about when I was a kid reading the R.L. Stine books. The cool thing about this series is we're gonna get the rest of these movies this month. So we've already got Fear Street 1994. The next one is in 1978 and then 1666, right? That whole 666 thing, right? It just kind of gives me chills because it's gonna take it back to the beginning. I feel like the devil in that era was nothing to play with. They're sacrificing goats and people, but I am excited for Fear Street 1978. It's gonna be the Camp Massacre. Now they talked about this one in this movie, so we got a little bit of pretense and we got to see the killer from the Camp Massacre in 1978. I liked how in this movie everything was so extreme. We got to see bad guys from other time frames in the movie because they pissed off the witch so bad. Now, I don't think in the other movies it's gonna be that. We're just gonna see what happened because we already know who the murderer is gonna be, but when we watch these new movies, we're gonna see in depth what really happened, and I'm sure it's gonna make a lot more sense. The way that they visually shot this movie reminded me a lot of Stranger Things. If I'm not mistaken, in the trailer for the next movie, they showed you one of the actresses from Stranger Things, so it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. There's nothing better than a little bit of horror in the middle of summer. Knowing that R.L. Stine has come from making children's books to teenage graphic novels, and now he's killing it on the big screen is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see the next movie. I'm sure that we will not be disappointed. But what did you guys think of this review? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Do you agree with my rating? Do you think it should be higher or lower? I mean, there's really only so far that we can go with this thing, but I really hope that you guys enjoy this review enough to actually check out this movie. It is trending on Netflix, Number Trace. You gotta check this out, man. But you already know what it is. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.
But we know that you acting with all of this heat, melt you up like you plastic. Niggas will switch up on you in a moment, like a stack of hundreds. I'm never folding. Heard they changed on me, I never noticed. Hit her and her friends, once that's a bonus. At the top, but I came from the lowest. Married to the money, yeah, I'm devoted.